Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and lizardmen, welcome back to Reptile Ramblings. It's been a hot minute. As always, I'm your host, Nate, and once again, I'm joined by my dutiful co-host, Mr. Bryant McDowell.
Quite dutiful. The most, some would say, but thank you, Nate. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, Ramblers. Glad to
The
start the
dawn of
gravy
junior
train.
bonds.
The dawn of bonds. Glad to start the gravy train for 26 with y'all. Um, Life, man. Life it ebbs and flows, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
And also not. And also not. Let's be real. I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. I think Nate, you as well.
No need to get philosophical on me.
Right out the gate, dude. Yeah, we're here for the herbs.
We're not
No,
here
but
for esoteric nihilism or something.
nihilism, Jesus. I remember those terms too. No, dude, but
Yeah, no,
starting
that's for
off.
next week. No.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, oof, it's already upon us. Go Hawks. Oops, sorry.
I'm assuming you're talking about hockey, but
Eagles. No, my bad. Wrong season. I don't follow sports. Forget it. But like as we
yeah.
said in the opener, on having a bit of a refresher, it's February 1st. We're doing this, and eventually, as the times are changing, you'll start getting a warmer. Pools will start filling in, vernal pools, folks. Uh,
Yeah.
you got a little something to do with those vernal pools in your neck of the woods in Ohio, right?
Yep. Working on a little project with the university I'm at. That because the branch campus I'm on is like 600 plus acres, and more than 500 of that is forest and wetlands.
Mhm.
So pretty decent chunk of habitat right there. So and they have a couple of different vernal pools already mapped out. And talking with professors there, they need some survey work done on what amphibian populations are utilizing those vernal pools, especially in early, like late winter and early spring. When everyone's actually using the pools, because they use those pools and that basically that whole branch campus is like the capstone project for a lot of the forestry majors from main campus. Will come up and be up there for like 2-4 weeks, something like that, at the like in May. So they have an idea of what's used in those pools in May, but not when everything's used in the primary rush, so to speak. So be a good idea to get some data from those guys, and we're possibly going to be able to use some auditory recording units to record frog calls.
Oh,
So
okay.
the ARUs, or as I like to call them, the amphibian reconnaissance units. So
I mean, you guys will be reconning the lost comrades or the forgotten comrades, rather. That's hilarious and really riveting of a project to be had.
more like,
Uh,
I don't think it's riveting. I think it's more like riveting. But
yeah. There you go. I led you into that one. That was a great setup. That was so good, dude. That was good. But
it's just how I set him up before we started recording. He would have to
hey,
dive off the internet.
dude, I'm containing myself for this show. So yeah, it was a special treat, Ramblers. But man, so I guess what's the poison going to be? Is it going to be your mats, your carpet mats, or something more durable, like something made of rubber in terms of the boards?
We're actually probably
Or are
not
you doing like
looking.
my bad to cut in, but are you doing like a drift fence as well?
No, we're not going to be doing any drift fences.
Okay.
This might just be too much work because you have to check it multiple times a day.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So
It's
it'd be cool to do a drift fence sometime, but now is not the time. But no, so in terms of the uh, vernal pools, that's like very
mm.
much early spring focus. We're actually going to be using minnow traps to
Oh,
kind of see what happens. And once we know there's stuff moving around there, we're going to take dip nets and just really and give a really good examination of all those pools. So
mm. And obviously I don't think this is giving too much away, but ambistamids are kind of up there as like top tier, wanting to find species, see if they.
Yeah, as the thing that's out as things I think would be the most personally cool to find would be ambistamids, but I'm probably going to find plenty of like wood frogs and toads and stuff like that, utilizing those. So
Yeah, I remember a couple of years from your Instagram, you posted. Oh, and I think also you made it into you in a YouTube short of a wood frog that you found road cruising. I think I could be wrong.
yeah, I was
Does
road
that ring a
cruising.
bell?
That was
Yeah.
like that was an Instagram post from like maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, something like that.
I remember because I think it was in it was in the winter months,
It might have been really like late winter, early spring. If I
something
recall,
like that.
like
But
March or something like that.
they're cool species. Do you know much about their status in Ohio? Like, are they pretty common? Are they concerned?
From what I know of, and this is by no means an expert analysis,
Yeah, not to put
I
you on
think
the
they're
spot, dude, but
I think
represent.
they're doing I think they're doing fairly well. So
Okay, because for us here, they're a weird one. They have spotty, this you would say disjunct populations in like central east Illinois, and then their stronghold here is like northeast, like Lake County, that sort of a thing. So yeah, they're not really common, I would say, in Illinois. So they're a treat to see whenever you do. Um, and probably like one of the most tolerant frogs in terms of like colder temperatures. Like they can legit be frozen, be okay with it. It's so nutty.
yeah, they can get all the way up to Alaska. So
Yeah, and then I remember those videos that everybody thought was like the beginnings of animal AI, and it was like maybe not exactly wood frogs, but they're freaking jumping in slow motion over the ice, and like
yeah,
there's no way this happening. But yeah, folks, frogs are a freaking, as Nate would put it, ribbon. You know, freaking resilient. So that's neat, man. And I may or may not. Most likely, I may. We'll discuss it, but I would like to play help in the logistics of all that, whether it's setting up or surveying, yada yada. That'd be really cool. Let me circle back around just to like Sal. So plethydontids too. Would you think you would find some as well?
oh yeah, I'm pretty comfortable we'll find
Because that's a
the
lot of
Pleasanton.
acreage. Like I don't know how much acreage colleges typically acquire or have, but that sounds like a lot. And especially like
And
in your part of Ohio, that's like perfect with woods.
yeah, well, that's
Secondary
the thing about
possession.
Ohio is at one point during the 1800s it was all clear cut. It just it's depending on which decade the place was clear cut and regenerated. So we had several different tracts of forest in terms of growth stages. So we have young, mature. We have tracts of and like I said, all regenerated forest. We have young
Hmm.
forest. We have mature forest, and then we have these plots of uh, pine. What's the term? Not colony, but
Like are they vagrants? Like are they non-native pines or
no, they're like planted to like they planted like a couple decades ago to help prevent soil erosion.
but they're like
So
I'm saying, are they non-natives? Do you know?
I think they're natives, but
Okay.
they've done this a few other places around where I live. It's
Interesting.
like colonies, plantations. I think it's plantation sounds like maybe the right word. I can't recall exactly, but yes, it's basically a set of turf that they managed some pines on to basically stabilize the soil. But
Hmm.
it's kind of the crappy habitat on the campus apparently. So yeah, look, what I'm hoping to do later in the spring and summer is identify a few plots inside each one of those habitats and basically do some survey work, seeing if there's a significant difference in species diversity and individual quantity of herps undercover in each one of those habitats. So get back to your whole coverboard thing. Might use coverboard. However, I'm thinking just to make speed things up. Apparently, there are protocols for choosing appropriately sized natural cover and so you can actually select out grids of natural cover that you can just check. So hopefully do a little ecology work, see what the herp communities and some of these different forests look like.
Yes, let the rocks fall in their place. So that they will be flipped later.
Yeah. Save myself a little
great.
work.
Great aspirations, man. And like again, to reiterate, I'd love to be out there. So I'm gunning for it. We'll definitely have to chat on this because this would be phenomenal work.
Yeah.
In the grand, yeah, just awesome. I think this type of thing should be done.
Yeah.
It's part
I
of
mentioned with
natural heritage type of a deal, type of sentiment.
I was gonna say, speaking of coming out this way, I mentioned to Jack, Road Trip Monster says, now he lives a bit closer to us. That the next time he, well, not the next time. When I first noticed salamanders moving, I'll send him a notification. He could get a road trip in because he's a monster of those, and kind of get his first Midwest herping experience in. So,
yeah, a little bit here and there wouldn't hurt. That'd be fantastic. Reconnect.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be looking for any excuse to find herps instead of just freezing.
Yeah, it's a pretty big contrast from where
he moved to Texas. He moved to Texas, and the first Midwest winter we gave him. It's like we did our boy dirty.
No, we did him solid, man. This has been a more solid winter we've had in the past years. So, at least for me though, the snowfall has been. I mean, I'm grateful, but also disappointing. But I am grateful.
Yeah, it's just so.
I mean, is it different from you? Has it hit more?
I mean, we haven't had snowfall in, I want to say, a week or so. So
is there still snow on the ground though, or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's got nowhere close to being warm enough to melt it off.
So. Yeah, that's the only good thing, that they are creating those packs, and then if people are already in the know to know that cycle, it melts, and in natural depressions or man-made depressions, saturates everything to a point where it's actual water levels to it, and if it's big enough depression, water body pools, you call them. It's really cool. I haven't gone out to a vernal pool in a couple seasons, so just talking with you about this, it's like really hyping me up again to be local or like statewide. It's like last year had its ups and downs as every year, but I had more time to go out and just hike and just do my thing in nature. And I was like, okay, I need to actually schedule these out. I need to do more of these. So getting outdoors time. That's me being esoteric again, Nate. But anyway.
Did I ever tell you that I actually did a vernal pools course in high school?
Dude, that's both nerdy and very cool. No.
So I took a secondary biology course elective in high school, and it's basically like one of the old local teachers doing whatever teaching whatever he thought was cool. So that course basically consisted of like a fetal pig dissection. It was like a 1 semester long course, but like we had like 2 hours a day, 5 days a week to get into it. So like a fetal pig dissection for like the first few weeks of the semester. We had a course on mammal skull identification, where he basically just brought in his mammal skull collection.
Awesome, dude.
And then vernal pools because he had access to go out to all these different vernal pools around the area and set out traps of all these ambystamids, and learn about like fairy shrimp life cycles and like different algae that are have mutualistic relationship with ambystamid eggs and all that sort of stuff. And then once that wrapped up, it was last few weeks of the semester we went birding pretty much. So
I mean, is that not living the life if you're a professor with any kind of association with biology or the natural world? That's just you got it made just by having it like that. You got it made.
Yeah. So it's pretty formational course for me. So I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast or not. Probably have some
No.
point or another. But yeah, that point in high school, before I took that course, I kind of lost interest in biology and wildlife. Thought I'll maybe just do reptiles inside, bit of a hobby sort of thing.
Mhm.
Because the gen bio course I took in high school sucked so much, and I was losing interest in it. Then that course kind of like, oh, I can actually. There's biology consists of cool stuff. It's not just nerdy microbiology stuff anymore. So it's actually cool stuff that I don't have to be in a formaldehyde stinking lab to see. So
Yeah, man. Standards are standards, but at the same time, it's hard to conform to a standard that's been set so long ago, and it's just
yeah,
I don't know.
I
We're
was,
all unique, so we're all tailored a different way. Like I'm a visual learner, hands-on type of guy.
yeah. I may have made this joke. I don't believe this joke, but I made a joke that wildlife biologists are people who couldn't cut in microbiology. So they couldn't cut in the field, the one biofield that makes money. So
Is that because of what, like medical, medicinal, medical applications? Yada
medical, yeah,
yada.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that goes the way, right? Because it's beneficial to our species since we're very species centric, which obviously to a degree we have to be. I agree, and also not to get philosophical again, but naturally we're selfish, self-preservation, yada yada. But still, we're so smart that we have compassion, and we try. There's a whole subset or sections that are basically just being compassionate to the natural world because it's not infinite, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was my takeaway from last year. I think that was the kind of like the wrap around with some other questions. Just yeah, just get out in nature, reconnect a bit more. Um, yeah,
So that was your New
plan it
Year's
out.
resolutions, was be more philosophical about flipping tin.
Hey, Nate, this is what happens when I'm gone for like legit like a couple months or so. I get quite devotional. And
You go to your first, cover board of the season, and you just think to yourself, "What would Immanuel Kant do?"
Immanuel Kant. Oh yeah, I'll freak out when I see my first garter of the year, even though it's usually pretty pitiful. It's usually in the clutches of like a raptor, you know, in the middle of
Yeah,
the cage, little poor bugger. But
the
again,
Gabe, the Gabe snake, as I like to call him.
yeah, I mean, eventually it'll be a Gabe getter, but we'll see how much getting Gabe will be getting. You know, tongue twister right there.
I was gonna
But
say, how flipping tin has their writers. We should just spam a picture. Then they have writers. Just spam pictures of decays each section. Just
uh, dude, that'd be awesome. Um, Segmenting off, you talked a little bit on just like, I guess, forest, a little bit of forest history with Ohio, and like this is probably totally off tangent, but maybe privy to us because of what we like. I'm like in like the Amazon basin. There are basically three types of ecosystems, and it mainly has to do with the habitat's relationship with water and elevation. So similar to places like Florida, where going up in slope or going down depression creates complete different habitat types. And so the main three for the Amazon basin is ooh, terra firma, so like firm earth, because this is high ground
oh yeah, good
jungle.
old terra firma. We have that here in great
Mm,
old US of A too.
there's that
Good
firmer
old terra
terra.
firma.
And so basically that habitat type never gets inundated with tidal influences or just water in general. I mean, it'll still get saturated from rain, but it won't get inundated. And then the other two types are Versea, Versea, I think I'm saying that right, and Igapo. That's if I want to say Igapo. And these both get inundated seasonally. Uh, but I guess the difference is Igapo gets inundated with like black water. So like the tannin heavy waters that parts of the rivers have. or clear water. So I don't really get that. And then Vercea is usually inundated with like white water. So, and now thinking about it, I kind of get that because white water is usually faster flowing. It's
More
it can,
oxygenated.
yeah, more oxygenated, and then the other two they're a bit more stagnant or saturated. So,
Yeah.
and I think these are good pro tips if you're trying to look, say, if you were wanting to do like a herping venture out, specifically in like some kind of Amazon region in whatever country that harbors some of that. You got to think about that because that can make or break your trip if you go somewhere and with a company typically, and you go to these places and they're flooded out, but to the point where you don't have kayaks or you can't really get further in, that'll be a bust. So you gotta, you know, I think these are really helpful tips, and they might be privy to us just because like, this 2026, we might make some moves, we might not. Some might get left behind, some might not. We will see. Something may be in the works.
Yeah. Like I said, it all depends on how big my tax return is. So how much free money, how much,
Come
well,
on,
not free money, how much.
Chris Dieter's book can't be that expensive. Come on. Shout
I
out
didn't
to,
make
to
it.
my man. Shout out my man to Dieter. Isn't there like a reprint going on Crocs Alive?
I reprint, or he still has a few hardcovers left.
Okay, so yeah, regardless, and I don't want to take the shine because you knew more about this than me, Nate. But Chris Dieter, Crocodilian in Captivity,
I mean, you can still get the book if you want to.
aficionado. Yeah, just go to how it's linked, whether it's through Amazon or his own webpage, and
It's on
get the book.
Amazon. Yeah.
All right, solid. And he has a great animal on the cover. What's that guy's name? Not Jaws. What was it? Was,
What's a half jaw or Ramses?
yeah.
Let's see. Where did I put the book at?
Yeah, I wouldn't know
One
because
second.
I wouldn't know. My bad, my camera went off. It's like you're going in the freaking valleys, Nate. It's hilarious.
Couldn't find it.
No worries, man. But yeah, it's a croc that's beautiful, but it has a bit of a upper jaw deformity, right? Is that kind of the case?
Well, this half jaw, what it is he's one of those T positive albino Niles, and what he has is under jaw is too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's half jaw. Now I think about the cover. I feel so
It's
bad.
To paint a picture, is a real unique looking Nile crocodile. Not your typical dark olive, green, brown. It's T positive, freaking white, but
yeah. Well, to be fair, some of the river basin, some of the different river basin localities of Niles, they just have really heavy gold coloring on theirs. I gotta find
is it not? Is it not?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm now compulsive. I had to find that book.
Oh no. We got Nate on a spree, but it's a good spree because if he finds the book, we get to see which crocodile it actually is. Because Dieter, he names a few of his favorite crocs. He has so many, it'd be impossible to name them all. But there are some crocs that have more notoriety than others, and they get a name, which is fair. When you have large collections. Most people with large collections don't name their snakes. That's just more of a kind of an intimate or person to person. What in the world, dude? That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's not
that's cool.
one of the hypos.
And cut. So that's going on the editing board, my man.
Yeah, that's not one of the hypos. That's different. Different Niles. That I think her name's Ruby. Going off the top of my head, because they used to have another male that was that really bright yellow color named Titan.
Yeah,
and both of them together. But Titan passed away a few years ago, so he still has Ruby, who's like his biggest female. So,
and from his talks,
It might be
Go on.
Ajax. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like Ajax Junior.
You know what?
Now I think about
That's
it.
it. That's the only one I met. I think that's Ajax. He looks just like it.
Yeah, and kind of a bit of a little bit of a twist towards the end of the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not uncommon to happen with like Crocs. So
No, but
like
it does get a little.
some of the Orinoco's he had back in. I have some photos of them. Sent to you sometime. They had much more of a twist on the end of the mouth. So don't know why it happens. Same time, we don't know why orcas in SeaWorld have their dorsal fins curl over, but
Do we not really? I thought it was like
I,
iron deficiency or something.
I didn't. That's news to me. So
I don't know. There are plenty of mysteries out there. But yeah, cool. I mean, I was telling the Ramblers, Dieter has quite a big collection. You can't name all the Crocs, but there are some that have more of a notoriety than others, and so they get a name. And that Ajax Junior feller was real interesting looking, real pretty, but interesting. And then I think before you were looking, I was like, well, I know that Madagascar Nile Crocs are pretty colorful, but yeah, you're right. Nile Crocs are another one, kind of like American Crocs, where there might be some cryptic speciation if you really pressed on, or at least subspecifics.
yeah,
Because there are some that I see in documentaries, and obviously documentaries can mock up and have different clips, whatever, but like the squamosals and some Nile Crocs are like more impressive than others. And obviously that could be a genetic thing, but I've seen many videos and
well,
examples of
if they
Crocs,
are
and yeah,
separate species, then it is a genetic thing. So
to a deeper level, yes, to a bigger group, but yeah, they're another one.
yeah,
It's been released now, but I have not had time to like read articles and stuff, dude. Like, there's been word on Acutus, right? Like, have they been divvied up,
splitting
or is
up.
there?
Yeah, I had to look at the paper again, but I think that I don't know if they're going to be permanently split up or not. I think they had suggested I double check the paper. I haven't had a chance to read it either, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, especially if they just split Pacific and Atlantic populations from apart. So
Yeah, I mean, how many are really going through the canal? I mean, enough, but maybe not.
same
So
time, it's not that many over the course of what 100-ish years, a little less than,
I wouldn't
maybe a
give
little bit more than, versus how long that isthmus has been dividing the two populations from each other.
millions and millions. Yeah, yeah. Even though, it's always interesting to think about, like, there's been what fossil deposits up in California. They ranged up
I
on the
I don't know about
Pacific side.
I don't know about California.
Well,
I
oh
do
no,
know
my bad. It's
historical
Baja,
records in the Baja,
Baja California,
the Gulf of California is what they call it, right? So,
something like that. Something like that.
and like
It was just this
records of
this
them
one
like
guy.
eating like sea lions and stuff like that.
That's the main reference. This one paleo artist, fantastic work. He's well recognized, but man, I can't for the life of me pin his name down. But yeah, he creates fantastic paleo art, and Acutus taking down a sea lion, which is just kind of wild to think about. That could have been a possibility. I guess in the back of my lizard brain, it's like reptilian superiority,
Return of the
or
Archosaur.
oh yeah, Archosaur achievement type of deal. It's hilarious. What's hilarious, man, is I have slowly but also steadily been creeping into viewing and photographing more and more winged Archosaurs. I have not turned to a new light, but I have found there are other doors to walk through.
There are many paths in life. Some of them lead off of cliffs.
I was just trying to look at the peregrine falcon, dude. It only makes
I
it only
still need
makes
to
sense.
make that T-shirt.
That would be fair.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad, dude.
I
The reason. No, go on. My bad.
don't know how well sales would do, but I think it'd be funny to go to McGee Marsh wearing a T-shirt that said "Inferior Archosaur" and had a silhouette of a songbird on it.
Oh, there will be some paleo folks that would be up for grabs for that. A lot, actually. I would be up for grabs. Or maybe, I don't know. Now I'm conflicted. I'd probably grab it. I'm not too much of a hard
I'm
ass
just
on
wondering
that.
how many heads that would turn into like a popular birding area or not.
Man, I didn't know you were being on devious time.
Well,
That,
well, not too far away from where I live is I've kind of well heard of popular birding spot called McGee Marsh on the shores of Lake Erie. So uh, it's like a lot of songbirds stop there. It's kind of like their last stop before they make the final leg over to Canada for the spring migration. And so a lot of birds go there pretty frequently. And I mentioned that birding part of that high school course. One of them was he took a Saturday and we went up to McGee Marsh,
hmm.
and just some random old lady just cut me down a size out of nowhere. So like
What do you mean?
I was there was some bird off on top of a tree a bit of ways away, and I was trying to focus my values with it. I just kind of muttered it underneath my breath, like I guess all I see was a little bit of orange, and I was like, "What?" I just muttered to myself, "What is that bird?" And this old woman next to me just said, "Get a grip! It's an oriole." It's like,
What?
I'm sorry, Grandma. I didn't know I was talking to you. It's like,
That's not a cookie in the wild. It's an Oriole. Well, I guess I can see how that could leave a sour taste of you for birder/birder associated folks. I mean,
yeah,
that sounds really uh, pretentious.
yeah.
you know,
I mean, it could
you
have
know,
been American
Orioles.
at a start.
You know what? I do know what those look like, and you're not wrong. You know,
So,
beginner birder.
so take that, random old lady. To be fair, it was an Oriole, but
You mean Old Swan? But I mean, I didn't know what a Baltimore Oriole was when I first saw one up in Indiana. I was like, this is the most tropical looking bird. Why is it in Indiana? Like, what's going on? And then I realized they frequent right by me ish. You know, so I've seen them around here too, and I'm like, that's a cool bird, man.
yeah.
Even even though I like the big birds, I like the birds of prey or bops, as some people would call them. Out there seeing a bop.
You like
Hmm.
going out and seeing wild bops.
Oh, dude, it'd be bopping out there for sure. It'd be bopping out there. But yeah, so I've divvied my outdoor time when I have the free time and also want to endure the cold. I mean, it's not so bad right now in the times I've gone out, but I also haven't been dim-witted and gone out when it's crazy cold. So that's been fun. I guess, you know, no, probably shouldn't. I guess one thing I would say is I'm looking forward to seeing more bull snakes. And I don't want to gloat like rub it into anybody. You know, I'm sorry you don't live close to bull snakes, Nate. That'd be awesome if you did. But you know, I'll take advantage of where I'm at based in Illinois. So I would like to see more bull snakes this spring.
That's okay. I'll just cry into all this money that my state government didn't take from me.
Hey, you will be rewarded with snake money, hopefully, in the future.
Yeah, yeah. Did work on my taxes earlier today, so there's that.
Yeah, man, I need to get on it because I'm still a two, technically three herp crew here. You know, I have a to refresh the ramblers. You know, I have a blue tongue skink, a female that I've had for oh my god, going on 9 years this year. 9 years I've had her, Quincy, and then 2 years ago at the first premier Coluberfest, I acquired a female king rat snake from the Zirkles. And also, if you guys aren't in the know, Coluberfest 3 is happening in September.
Yeah,
Just look
hope.
it up on Facebook and you'll find the dates and location, or maybe you know off the top of your head,
Yeah,
right? Or is that too? Is
I
that
think it's
pressing you?
last weekend in September. I think, go off the top of my head.
And they will be in Evansville, Indiana. So
Yeah,
southern part, and
way down south in Indiana, close to
close to the
Kentucky.
Kentucky and Illinois border. So an interesting region. And since it would be in September, maybe pack some hiking gear because you could go out and potentially see some stuff.
Yeah. Any particular species that come to mind?
I mean, copperheads for sure. Copperheads, your gray or black rats, whatever. Easterners, whatever. King,
Allegadiensis. Yeah.
yeah, king snakes. So yeah, real neat neck of the woods area.
Yeah. Hopefully we can make it this year. Hopefully.
Yep, I rather say hopefully, but most likely, I will go. I can't imagine missing for the second year straight. And it's not. It is a little bit farther this time around, but it would have been, I think, about the same duration wise if I were to, if I were to have gone in where was it at in Fort Wayne?
Yeah.
So it would have been a little bit farther regardless.
When first when they were suggesting Cincinnati, I was like, yes. Then they suggested Evansville. I was like, no, that's like 3 more hours driving.
But again, and you also I think you're only an hour away from Snake Road. Obviously, I don't want to put anybody else out an hour. I won't do that, but then maybe fact check me out. Maybe it's a little bit further, maybe 2 hours. But still, I think cool region. I've never been to that part, so but I mostly want to go for the experience that Fest is to reconnect. And already I've seen some folks, including previous guests, saying that they've already, busted out the funds and got their ticket, and they're a go. They're ready. So it's like,
Yeah, it's like about an hour and a half drive or so from
so
Shawnee.
if you were a maniac, I don't want to spur anyone on, but that is doable. I personally don't think would do it because, to reiterate, I would be there for the experience, for the
Yeah.
networking, people, and everything.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, so that's a potential idea to try and go to Shawnee. So
Yeah, it'd be awesome, that whole area. So maybe what would be an aspiration for you? Like, please say Water State, please say Water State. But I mean, obviously the cover boards is kind of already, you're putting it, you're working it. So
yeah, I mean, sure, if I can find the weekend to do it, I definitely would love to go up to Northwest Ohio and get on those islands. But perhaps there's some other stuff I could possibly do this summer. I could possibly help with some research work with some of the scientists down main campus doing like Massasauga and timber rattler surveys and stuff like that. So
you said a real country timber snake. That was fantastic, dude. That was spot on. The action and everything. Damn timber snakes.
My neck of woods ain't real church. It ain't real church service. We'll break out the timber snakes and have them hand around. I mean, yeah, Earl died, but I guess he wasn't pure of heart. I guess he had sin in his heart.
He was a sinner. He was a goddamn sinner. But oh, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, that would be awesome if you were able to collab on that.
Another t-shirt idea is like the "Don't Tread on Me" timber rattler. Like, it has like a straw hat and a straw mouth, and it just says timber snake.
Timber snake. You got yourself here a timber snake. Oh, dude. Yeah, with the corn straw in his mouth. That's in perfect envisionment right there, dude. I would buy that one more than the.
Instead of just being coiled on itself, it's coiled around a bottle of moonshine.
Dude, I'm taking mental notes. I'll hold you to this. This is actually a funny idea. It's a fantastic idea. Fantastic design. But
open up the FC after it gets launched. Zach Lothman bought all stocks.
They'll be all at the next Fest donation time. Oh no. Or auction. Auction is a better word for that. That's what it is. Yeah, man. that would be to reiterate, that'd be awesome to do that if you were able to hop on. Again, we have aspirations to go international again. We'll see if we were able to link up with that. I guess the only thing is that we could maybe this would be a time to segment just a little bit and bebop around this region of the world that we both find pretty cool. Or maybe also to start it off though, from our last Colombia trip, obviously we definitely knocked off some targets off collectively our lists, but there were of course plenty that were not, just because it's a huge country and herps aren't always the easiest things, yada yada.
And we spent
But,
like 60% of that trip driving, but
yeah, but the more we dwell on it, the more I'm like, yeah, we were just so gung ho and foolhardy. But I'm also like, hey, we learned. We definitely learned, because I was like, I do not want to waste more than half my time on a vacation driving. That's just too much time expenditure on an already stressed out situation we had ourselves. We lost a day. It's funny, is you gained a day, but you didn't have the bros. You couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
You couldn't do nothing. It's like, man, what are the odds?
It's basically a whole day of me just trying to stay out of trouble. So in a country where I basically asked for a beer or a glass of milk. So,
dude, you know what? We should have took that as a sign. When you arrived there before us, I was like, oh, Nate's there before us, guys. Let's just cancel the whole thing. Let's go back home. Let's try this again next year. I was like, well, yeah. Still, man. Well, still, what an entryway to South America. Colombia is amazing, especially when you get out in those rural. I mean, a lot of it's rural. It's second class country, but man, like going out from Bogota westward, so beautiful. The mountain ranges. There was like so many meadow type habitats that I was not prepared for. And then you have freaking sheer cliff faces with waterfalls off the sides of the road, and you just have these nutty, landscapes, like real scenic. Probably really good for birds, maybe not so good for herps, but just I wouldn't have mind to pause at some of those sites. Those are some of the things also to consider. It's like it's tough when you're pressed for time, but thinking back on it, since we drove so much, it's like, well, we could have stopped a bit more for stuff like that, but it's okay. I'm glad we stopped when we did.
Yeah, and driving there is something else. So,
Man.
especially in Bogota.
Yeah, the way we arrived and entered Bogota, that was like it was so crazy, because on the return, it was also like the last day was relatively mild, but like second to last day when I was driving through it, holy crap, man. It feels a lot longer since you're closer to the equator. And so, you guys, like around 6, it's already like dark, or getting close to.
And when it does get dark, it gets dark quick.
It gets dark quick, and there's not as many lights compared to like where we're, or at least not many tall lights. There are a lot of lights, but it's mainly the rears of
they're at like eye level or maybe first story level or something like that.
It's just all these bikes, all these mopeds and bikes. Bogota is a bike city through and through, unfortunately for cars.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look at how traffic was there. Makes sense to have a bike instead.
Well, 100%, but obviously it's kind of a cyclical cycle. It's like, well, you either improve it more for bikes and make laws, or it's just tough. Infrastructure like that is tough to deal with. There's so many people crammed in. I mean, 7 to 8 million in metropolitan area of Bogota. I mean, that's a certified city, man. It's a big city.
I mean, how many does Chicago have?
Yeah, it dwarfs Chicago. Even including the metropolitan area. And again, if you want to include Chicagoland, that's like, man, I used to always have that state on me. Like, that's a Google question. Jeez, thanks, Nate. But no, Bogota is certified. I mean, that's bigger than Panama City. That's bigger than quite a few in terms of South American cities. Not too many dwarf that kind of population to a city.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, go off the top of my head, the only ones I could think that come close to rivaling in size would probably be like what? Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires,
Yeah. Okay,
maybe
so
maybe Cartagena.
Cartagena. Well, 100%. Medellin is another big one in Colombia, but three, four, I don't know. So, from Gemini, it's saying Chicago's metropolitan area is like 9 million. So, but that's including like other big cities like Naperville, and like that to me that doesn't really count because I'm talking about Chicago proper. Bogota is proper. It's just its own thing. Obviously, there's subdivisions, yada yada, but it's Bogota. It's all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
certified city stamp of approval. So
The reason I brought it up is like the closest traffic situation wise in terms of how dense and bumper to bumper it was going
Texas.
through Chicago,
Oh, okay.
uh, mid middle of Chicago it during rush hour. That's the closest I ever came to that in here in the States. So, but speaking of comparisons to Texas, what did I tell you when we got down onto the Llanos plain?
You're like, whoa, this is East Texas. This is
Yeah,
like we're back in the States.
yeah.
And
And now that you've been to Houston area,
100% I'm in accordance to this statement. Like, I've been in the RGV, and obviously that gets more humid and more dry, yada yada. But East Texas proper, holy crap, man, that humidity is no joke. So in fact, going in June, I'm like, it was more humid than being out there in Colombia, which is just
well, because we're at the
wild to
very end
say.
of the dry season, so it was
Very
hot, but it was
true.
dry. So
Very true, but still quite an amazing statement to say out loud and know that it's relatively true.
no,
But who
I was
knows,
talking more
man?
like the landscape, but
Yeah, landscape as well, because a lot of fields, whether they're agricultural fields that still has what do you call them, buffers, like natural buffers or remnant habitat, yada yada. And then there's man-made ditches, pools. I mean, it does fly because it's closer to sea level and lower. It's flat. It's also flat. That's one thing I noticed that was similar around Houston area. Pretty flat looking. It's
yeah.
dynamic, but it's pretty flat. And yeah.
But what's one region? Well, there's a couple regions, but what's one big region of Colombia we never got a chance to go to?
Well, dude, there's so many. We did kind of go through a little bit like of the Pacific lowlands. That would have been another one to be cool to have delved in a bit more. That one's a bit tougher to crack down on the spots. And then obviously we legit passed through the entire Andes. I mean,
Twice.
twice.
Well,
So
if you think about it, more like four times because it splits into two. So
yeah, but just the three finger, mountain range mark. We crossed it twice, and I'm like, wow, that's where just the beauty, the the illustration was just amazing. But wait, I would say the Amazon region of Colombia would be awesome to hit someday. I mean, just phenomenal because most people wouldn't know that. I mean, how big the Amazon River Basin really is. I mean, it stretches even all the way into parts of southern Colombia,
yeah.
Brazil, northern Brazil, yada yada, Peru.
So
And so the
that was kind of
Colombian Amazonic side, my bad, Nate, is no less spectacular, and it's pretty specious as Nate is now pulling up on the good old iNat. And love or hate it, iNat is a good reference. Obviously, it can be a tool that can be abused, but it can also be to gain from academically / selfishly.
yeah. So I drew a search area over kind of the tri-country area where Peru, Colombia, and Brazil all meet, and 207 species of reptiles and amphibians. How many do we have in Illinois and Ohio, probably not 207.
No, even if you maybe combine, I don't know. It might edge out if you combine them, but still.
And that's
I
just
think we have like
iNat observes.
yeah, I mean there's more species than we're probably seeing on here, but you'd have to go through, literature or actual resources to know. That's the thing with iNat that most people tend to forget. It's not the end all be all in terms of like in terms of different kinds of species.
This is just a species that someone who has an iNat account and wants to upload to iNat loads up have seen.
Yeah, it's an observation, certified observation. Oh,
That'd
yeah,
be
I've
kind of cool
seen
to see.
that would be. I mean, just it's like a combination of a color lizard and like
Like
a
a
tiny
African redheaded gamma.
yeah, dude, perfect analogy with a clubby tail. I mean,
So for those who are listening, we're looking at a tropical thorny tail iguana or Eurocentron flaviceps. So that's one of the species in kind of that tri-country area.
and iguanas are another, I guess family or clade that they're weird lizards. Not all of them look alike, you know. They could be pretty distinct looking than just the basic, green or rock iguana body plan. They come in a lot of shapes and sizes. Oh, they
And
got fulgidas. My bad, Nate. I got excited with the
I was gonna say that's a interesting name for a frog.
fulgidas. No, convict tree. Well, it looks like it's wearing convict pajamas underneath its underbody for folks not not viewing. Oh yeah, I could totally see that. I could also see it being called robber frog, but there's already a
That's like
whole
a whole group
genera.
of those things.
There's a whole
Robbers and rain
genera.
frogs.
Robbers, yeah. Whole
What was
genera.
one you're getting excited about?
The green vine snake, like the OG vine snake that most people think about, like the huge one.
Yeah, the
Fulgidas.
Oxbellus fulgidus.
Fulgidas. I mean, they're cool. I mean, they're a nice, hefty, sizable vine snake. They're not your rinky dinky pencil little guys, which are awesome. I think all vine snakes are awesome, but I like big snakes, and I cannot lie, man.
So what would you say the odds are that one of those would munch on your ear?
Highly, highly. They're like missiles. Just look at their face, man.
Well,
It's
which
funny, man. I still scratch that part of my ear every now and then, and I think I still have just the slightest remnants, like a slight rough texture feeling. And I remember when it chewed on me. I mean, I wasn't bothered. I don't think the venom was too detrimental. It got a little inflamed, but what bite doesn't? Like it definitely had a little
yeah,
bit of a localized
that
effect, but
that could
nothing
have just
crazy.
been that could have just
Anything.
been
The teeth,
bacteria.
bacteria, or the fact that maybe teeth were in there. Hopefully not, but
Now that would
ooh,
be a really cool thing to see. The aquatic coral snake.
showstopper. I think these are also the biggest of the corals.
Let's see.
They get pretty big.
Uh, 80 to 100 centimeters, so about 1 meter, with a maximum of 135. Although there's an unproven report of 180 centimeter specimen. So we're talking something that could potentially get 4 foot, which is pretty big for a coral.
Yeah, and I mean, they just look chunkier too. Like they're more proportioned like a freaking lamprey than anything. They're chunky guys, but I guess they have chunkier clientele to deal with as food.
Yeah.
Since you're like those more warmer latitudes, there's more limbless amphibians and just like Sicilians. I think that's mainly what they eat too. Sicilians. I don't know.
The Sicilians are like maybe like freshwater eels, I think, are part of their diet as well. Could be wrong.
That really surprised me. Sounds right. Coral snake diets are pretty weird. Personally,
Yeah.
I'm just plugging in my laptop. Okay, well, how about this? What's one of the herps that was on your list to see in Colombia that we didn't get to see that you would love to see?
Let's make it a little fun.
Hmm.
3 guesses to name the species.
Oh boy. Three guesses, no hints. Oh, come on now. You give me a hint. Like,
I'll
is this
I'll give you a hint after each guess.
no, dude. Like, I gotta say, like, is it a snake or is it
It's not a snake.
it's not a snake. Is it a crocodilian?
It is.
Okay. I think this is the top tier of your list. Is this the Orinoco?
Yes.
Good man. I'm glad that you're staying true to what you want to see. It it was a little bit tough to think about really going out of our way to see it. But I'm like, man, that's a cool croc, man. They're not talked
Yeah.
about enough. There's not enough research on them. I can see why you love them. They're awesome. Look,
Yeah.
is there a theory that they're closely related to Acutus? Like like they split off from a common ancestor, or do we not know the relationship?
I would have to look at the cladogram, but it wouldn't surprise me if their closest cousin is Acutus.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like them. Just think of a more what's the term? Attenuated snout, but chunkier build as like a big mature animal. I don't know. They're a weird one because as Nate knows, they're highly endangered. It's
Yeah.
not too many of them left. And the
And the
more I
core of
look
their
in,
range is in Venezuela, which for gringos is kind of still a no go gringo.
kind of sketchy for sure. So yeah, they're one I would like to hope stick around for sure. Okay, well, a fantastic choice, man. You're a white whale, which hopefully will not be so white anymore someday. It's a
Yeah,
great choice. I guess uh maybe
but
let's just give him a refresher. You've worked too with Orinoco's
at
out
Crocodile
at
Encounter, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
got plenty of pictures of the ones they used to have there. So
Were they the ones that you would say maybe you least trusted because you knew their capabilities, or were they pretty chill? Because you worked with like four of them, or
see here, they had like 6 fully grown adults when I was there, plus a couple juveniles, and I think it's meant to hold the story once, but basically going my first day there, I saw one of the experienced workers feeding the Orinoco's. I just saw how fast they moved, and I was like, "Oh yeah, an alligator. This is not." So
welcome to Crocodilia. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, alligators are like such the exception, man. Even with Chinese, even though I think you've had experience, there are some cantankerous Chinese alligators, but
I was I would say the majority of Chinese alligators are probably a little bit on the cantankerous side, from what I've heard. But I
little man
again,
syndrome.
again, I could just be talking on my ass on that one. It's just the ones we had were kind of a
I mean,
little punchy, but
I mean, I guess
Eater
I'll
in the book himself, he said he's never seen a crocodilian guard its eggs quite as ferociously as a Chinese alligator.
and that's kind of sweet given that these are tiny guys for alligator, 5 foot. So
Yeah,
they gotta give it their all. But even caiman, man, even caiman are like so different. They're like the opposite extreme of the alligatoroids, snappy and fast and calculated, not dopey and powerful and menacing, but unassuming as like Americans. So it's interesting.
yeah.
So
So
I'm not going to compare, but I will say, let's do the same then to piggyback off, you know.
okay, what is the species you wanted to see most that we didn't get to see? A snake.
Yes.
Was it a venomous species of snake?
Oof. No, and I will give you a further hint. It's a colubrid. Yeah, one more
Okay.
hint, but don't waste it.
Is it an arboreal species?
It is.
Is it a chicken snake or a tiger rat?
The good old Spilotes. Yeah, good old Spilotes. I've lately been such a fanatic of arboreal colubrids, especially when they get big, like tiger rats. And don't get me wrong, like I've seen them at Tinley and whatnot, and they have the weirdest proportions because they look like a skinny rat snake, but they get huge. They're very expressive. They puff out their throats. I just love their colorations, whether it's gold and black or highlighter white and black. They're cool. They're really cool snakes because we don't have anything similar that's like highly keeled like that. Rat snakes are keeled, but not like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I was I was gonna say I just saw a video a few days ago. Some guy did one of those like indoor like plant grower tents. They
yeah,
have them set up for his Vietnamese blue beauty snake, and it's like really big uh, growing tents that was fully decked out, and that just looked really cool. I was like, you know what? For getting a really big setups, that's probably not. That's probably one of the more financially responsible options for getting like a 10 foot by 4 foot by 5 foot tall. That's probably the most financially responsible option. So
yeah, and like just think about the pros and cons. It's not made of like super heavy material like glass or like metal or yeah, whatnot. It could be it's highly customizable, because what I've seen is people will lay the foundation with like cement boards or bricks, create that kind of perimeter, and then just build up from that, like reinforcements. And like some grow tents have like additional flaps, so you gotta seal those real good. But yeah, it could be a viable option. Real
and they usually
portable
come with a
too.
lot of climate control, uh, or at least the
Ventilation.
ability to
Yeah.
add in a lot of climate control capabilities. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
seen it with misters and yada yada. It's very doable, and it would do justice for the species because there's humidity requirements and their arboreal nature. There's just a really interesting snake to me. They're real fascinating. They're one I could definitely see myself getting into. But I
And
think there were
maybe this year's Kluberfest, or
no. I just I like them, but I don't think they're the snake for me now. I think their metabolism is too fast, and I just wouldn't want to risk it because they're all snakes. Almost all snakes are naturally lean, even the fat looking ones. That's just pure muscle. But with these guys, I could see myself that because I hear that they need water, and so they need to be misted constantly ish, and they need water every day, like fresh, yada yada. If I were gone for say a day or so, I'd probably be torn up about leaving them. But maybe not a day. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But you
yeah,
couldn't leave them long without tending to maybe. I don't know.
yeah, you don't want to deal with them yet because they're high metabolism. All right, again, what was the species you got at Kluberfest?
No, no, bud. Look, king rats are way more in line with North American colubrids here. My girl Annabelle is still down for brumation, and I've had her down since middle of November. So I mean, that's a good track record. That's already what, like almost 3 months.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I just like racing them up like that. I did it to her last year as a juvenile, and she took it like a champ. Obviously, I monitored temps, but yeah, took it like a champ, perfectly fine. So why not keep doing it? I think it's healthy for them. You don't have to do it, obviously, but it's a nice break. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm also in the midst of transitioning like her cage and whatnot. So I rather do that with her not needing that space. So,
yeah.
but
So
no, no, I see. But no, I see with the chicken snakes, they're different. They're tropical as all get out. Like they need
yeah,
constant, pretty warm temps.
so you probably
Um,
need to get their own room or something like that, or have your own tropical room eventually one day.
I mean, either that or I was just talking off a whim. I don't know if I would ever see myself owning them. I'd probably be an old man. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I'd rather have animals that I'm more in tune with and are more in tune to my kind of lifestyle. And the king rat is awesome. Obviously, we've talked about indigos, and we had, someone not indigo breeder Kate on for indigos, and that's awesome. I don't need more convincing to want to get an indigo, but I think about them too. I think they would be hardier and they could, last longer out tending to. But I would like to dedicate time to dry market. They're so cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you think it can Annabelle a little friend this Oktoberfest or not?
So if we are doing, collection updates, that is potentially going to happen this year, whether it's Tinley, if I find something right, or Oktoberfest is acquiring another king rat, because I would like to at least have a pair. And Annabelle is straight up a normal. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she popped out something like Annery or something common like that. Or maybe no, not Annery. Annery's not common. What is a common morph for king rats? I don't know. The king rat morphs are exploding as we speak. It is nuts what's been going on last couple of months even. But yeah, I think that will happen. Now to reverse it back on you, you're scrubby. How's that doing?
Getting a little bit of suck shed, so I got some sphagnum moss. Going to put up a humid hide for him, get him all humidified, and I'm thinking this summer I might get a female southern. So
wait, it is a tannin bar. My bad. It's a tannin bar.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, it's not a tannin bar. It's I want to say Halmahara. It's southern. Is the broader, greater type, I guess what you call it. I believe it's Halmahara. Let me double check. I mostly keep track of it through since I ordered it through Morph Market. I kind of keep it tracked through Morph Market what it was. Let's see here.
Well, still, man, scrubs are awesome. They're, if I were to dive into pythons, it would be and like
Maruki. That's it.
Oh, it's Maruki.
Maruki, yeah.
That is ironic. That is cool.
So, but also, actually, by the time this is going out, the episode that I have with Stephen Cush would have been out for a week. But for you, Bryant, this Tuesday, I have scheduled my episode with Stephen Cush coming out. So,
okay, man, I can't wait. The scrub shepherd himself.
Yeah. Could you see yourself getting to scrubs?
That's kind of what I was alluding to.
Turn to the dark side?
To the scrub side, yeah. There are a few pythons on my list if I were to ever keep some, and scrubs are definitely up there, the top tier. And I think for the same reasons you like them, they're inquisitive, they look at you, you can see things working in their brain. But obviously, as young pythons especially, they're kind of like, get away from me, or they have their moods. They have their moods. I understand that with Annabelle, she has her moods, but she's been a trooper and like being more mellowed out with me, just looking, handling her. I mean, I don't handle my animals too much. I don't see a reason to, but still, I want them to be pretty chill, not overly stressed when I do.
Yeah,
that's why we do it. But yeah, it's good to hear that you might get a male, and
I already have a male.
Oh, I mean, you mean female? I mean, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
if we did that.
Yeah. But talking with him, he says what might be the next big locale in scrubs would be Aru locales. So the Aru scrubs. So you're looking into getting scrubs. That might be the thing to get into.
Yeah. I mean, that's ironic though. You said that he said that, I guess, because I would think that maybe Halmaharas might turn into something big as well, just because when they first came in and like they were all dark and drab and not too colorful, but now that people are breeding them, I think Steven is as well. They're really getting a lot unlocked out of them in terms of coloration potential. So, yeah, scrubs are another deep rabbit hole. I have enough deep rabbit holes to go to. Plus, I want to I want to herp and live life and do stuff.
Yeah,
I just don't want to build a collection too big too fast for
yeah.
sure.
But yeah, speaking of herping, I did look at what some of the airfare would be to get to some of the islands you find scrubs on in Indonesia are. It's like, ooh, that's definitely further down the road.
It's a dedication slash investment type of deal. Yeah, for
It
sure.
would have to get to the point, like if I was somehow like say, I don't know, you make a YouTube of go on those herping trips, somehow got big enough that would pay for itself, then I could justify doing that trip. But
And you know, that brings up another thing, and I may have told the Ramblers on our Colombia trip recap, but I recorded some nice film segments with my actual, you know, Nikon semi-professional camera. I mean, nothing crazy, but I was excited to make a video. And I come to replay the videos, and they were all in slow motion. I was like, I did the number one error as an amateur photographer, videographer. I didn't review any of
what
my
your settings
craps.
were before.
Yeah, like video settings, yada yada. I didn't do any of that crap I typically would have because I was so chock a block full of energy from like going out and exploring new landscapes. So yeah, that was hilarious. But I got plenty of beautiful photos and obviously memories from it. But yeah, I would say if we were to go international again, obviously record, and maybe implement. You know, you know, you don't have a GoPro per se, but you have like an action camera, or is it a GoPro? But regardless, you know, you
I have a tripod that I can hold my camera with. That's what you're asking about. My
yeah,
my
you
cell
know,
phone. So
freaking extender poles. You know, I need to implement more of that because they're convenient, and I think the footage that you could get off of them is pretty cool and intimate because you're literally putting the the subject right
see
there
a
to the animal.
Bushmaster, you get decent like close up photos of the videos of the face without getting your hands in the danger zone, so to speak. Or
Yeah, like freaking you talk about over 200 species in the Amazon region of Colombia. Imagine, you know, getting up on like say caiman, like daybreak caiman, or freaking a green anaconda underwater under like a sunken trunk tree limb. I mean, well, that's more like Olympus style if you're going underwater, but still, you know what I mean. You're getting right up in there in a sense, but not putting yourself too close to the animal. Kind of. I just think that'd be awesome.
yeah,
That would be so cool.
let's see if
Like
anyone's
green.
seen
Let's
Bushmaster in that area.
okay. I would be curious. Okay, obviously anaconda because in the Amazon, but they're actually relatively hard-ish to find in Colombia, and they also have a decent range. You know, they're even in the technically the what was it again? Orinoquia slash Llanos. Like they're in the fields as well, in the flooded fields.
See if it has a. It should show a map of the observations. Hmm.
Beautiful. Nate is showing us some iNat photos of green anacondas. Not a frequently, at least observed and submitted species, but still, I mean, anaconda has a huge range. The green anaconda. Think about it. I mean, that is actually I've never actually seen the range of green anacondas. I think before now. To be frank, I didn't know it was that expansive. But it's also pretty. Well, I guess I could say disjunct, but also you have to imagine where these places are. I mean, most people maybe aren't surveying, putting in the work, and also safety.
Yeah,
Safety's a big factor. And I'm seeing with a lot of these gaps. I'm like, I can kind of see why.
yeah. Places that not a lot of people with fancy cameras want to go to.
Just look at some snakes, you know. But still, it's interesting to see that they are kind of tied in with, well, not tied in, but you know, they're associated with the Amazon River Basin and just lots of lots of rivers. Yeah, taking down a caiman, freaking wild. That's got to be
Yeah,
the worst way to go, just because you know it's going to take so long for your oxygen saturation to deplete, and then you're finally like donezo. Since caiman can last for a good bit in their
yeah.
struggles. And then there's like evidence that they can last so long that they do manage to wrestle. And there's like a YouTube video of like a huge green anaconda and like a spectacle came in locked in Mortal Kombat. And I think they either both died or the green anaconda won, but its head was like practically split in half because the Cayman managed to bite it on the head.
Huh.
So it ain't
Yes.
over till it's over.
And over till the fat lady sings.
Yeah.
Or
The kind of
the chonky Boid gets his head split open.
yeah. It needs to take some tips from Jaguares. And now Nate has gone to provide us with beautiful observations of spilotes, tiger rats, chicken snakes, whatever. They're beautiful, beautiful arboreal colubrid.
And if you want to talk about range,
they're pretty unreal too, ranging from, I think the furthest north is Tamaulipas, Mexico. And then the furthest south is parts of Argentina. And that is well known.
like the northernmost corner of Argentina.
Yeah. And then a little further south, what was that? Paraguay?
Uruguay?
Oh, no, that's further out.
That's Brazil. That's still Brazil. Uruguay's all the way down here.
Yeah.
Paraguay. Yeah.
Yeah, that is, I mean, literally intercontinental.
Yeah.
So that's pretty unreal.
It'd be really hard to find something that has greater range than that.
But I don't think it reflects current maybe literature because they did split them up. Like there is now another not self-specific. There's actually a new species of spilotes that looks like a tiger rat, but it has its scales are bigger.
Yeah.
So
is that
still huge range.
Do you know off the top of your head where that one's range is?
No, I don't. This was a while ago. And in fact, a buddy encountered one in I do remember because he was in Ecuador. He encountered it in Ecuador of all places. And apparently over there, I don't know if because of where they are. Well, I mean, yeah, it has to be, I think, of where they are. They speciated into something different. And they look different. I mean, they have different scale, scutellation, and everything. Yeah, I have to go back and check out that message. Oh, sorry, Markin. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Even though I don't even want to get into what that is on the furthest right. Like I know there's more species that they're ranking, but I don't know the cladistics and complexities of that. I'm like, yeah. I just know the good old Eastern Texas blacktail and yellowtail. Like anything like Mexican or what there's blacktails, aren't they?
So your Mexican indigo is rubidus, I would say, or at least is what it's purported to be. Yeah, blacktail I think is one of these.
But I think it's even sub specific. Like technically it's Milanurus rubidus. Oh, hey, look, that was one of my photos. That's funny.
That's yours?
Further left. Yeah. That's
your photo. Man,
no,
you're
everywhere.
You're famous now.
iNat famous. Yeah.
iNat famous. Yeah. Arguably the worst type of famous.
Yeah.
Man, but what you look at your window now, you see a TMZ reporter waiting outside for you.
Hey, I mean the top observer dude, freaking that guy. I mean,
imagine
seeing that many. I mean, clearly probably seen way more, but that's just how many he's put.
Of course, he's the curator of herpetology at the Gladys Porter Zoo.
Oh, Clint. Oh, I recognize him. Yeah. And funny enough, he and I messaged long ago when I did go to RGV. I didn't know that was his account. That's hilarious. That's funny, man.
You like to have him on the podcast someday, maybe?
You know what? I wouldn't mind mentioning it, seeing if See if that bridge is still crossable. Just might as well. And plus, yeah, I mean, freaking in the zoo field, but also working towards conservation because Gladys Porter Zoo is a well-known zoo, especially for like their herp
Yeah, herp.
collection. I mean, Orinoco's, and they've even that's kind of where a lot of the tiger rat stock comes from. At least, I'm hearing from word of mouth from the other old head herpetoculturists and collared lizards. I mean, yeah, I haven't gone. Oh no, I want to go back to the RGV. Jeez, so many places, so little time, Nate. So little, so
Man,
many places.
I have some other places that I want to go to as well, especially this year. So,
Because I remember, I don't want to beat a potentially dead horse, but like I remember we mentioned like Arizona. I'm like, dude, my sister's out there. I'd like to see her again, and also monsoon, baby, monsoon. I'd like to experience that. And I know you were itching for something like that too, so that'd be nice.
yeah.
We could see, extended weekend. We could see. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a weekend, I guess. Depends.
We could see.
Depends also when the year. So,
Yeah, yeah. Just delusions of grandeur, man. No worries. We'll see.
so.
We'll see. Well, dude, I think we should start shutting her down. This has been like fantastic. I would say it's funny. We were going to touch more on the Amazon region of Colombia, but we got a pretty good gist going on with it. I'd say we could save that for another time, maybe with someone who's either been around there or at least knows a bit of Colombia herping.
Do you have a hint?
No hints, just aspirations potentially. So we'll see.
All right.
We will see.
I would like to close out one thing. We mentioned what in Colombia we'd like to see the most.
Yeah.
Will be another big one for you to see, and I'll think of one as well.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's not a crocodilian this time. Or I mean, it wasn't last time either.
Is it a snake?
I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna have to Uno reverse you. It's a crocodilian.
Is it palpabrosis?
Yeah, I had to Uno reverse you on that just because I'm too pure of heart for that as well. I love Papa Roses. It was so cool to see. I mean, I'm very happy to have gotten Trigonatus. So happy. How I'm not happy what's transpired earlier, but I'm happy that we made it to to see. I'm happy we made it to see.
Well, I also have something I would really like to see if next time we go down there. If we go down there.
Can't be another crocodilian, so snake.
Yep.
Is it big and green?
Depends your definition of big, and they can be green.
I think I know. I'm going to shoot for it. Is it a puffing snake?
Correctamundo.
Okay, excellent, man. It's nice that we do have similar tastes in snakes, man, because that's another big one. They used to be with bird snakes, and now they're in it with the tiger rats. So there's spilotes as well. And these guys actually do get big. They're still lean and I guess kind of light or fragile because they're tree snakes, but they get legit big, like over 3 meters. So we're talking 10+ feet. And
I did an episode with Roy Blodgett back in the day, and he's well known for his puffing snakes. So
yeah, unfortunately, his that big male he had, handsome boy or whatever, passed away. So that's very unfortunate. But he was legitimized like over 11, 12-footer type animal. I mean, enormous, amazing specimen of that species. So yeah, that's a great choice. And I guess one honorable mention I'll toss out is a boa constrictor, not imperator or anything like that. Boa constrictor.
that would be also pretty cool to see.
Yeah, because who wouldn't like to see a boa in the wild? Besides water boas.
I think finding a tree boa would be pretty cool as well. So
Yeah, and even though people make it seem like they're dimes a dozen and like these vlogs and videos, I'm like, that'd be so cool to say. Dime a dozen tree boa. And they're so variable with their patterns, the
Yeah.
colors. Yeah, that's a solid honorable mention too. Um Man, yeah, now you got the gears going. I'm like, Colombia, dude, get back in it. But yeah, that's a really awesome region. It is
Yeah, if
actually,
only we could ever go there again. I don't know if we'll be able to make it at all ever anytime in the near future. Unfortunately, folks, I just had to listen to us ramble about it for the next couple of years, right?
I mean, that's kind of what we're all about, the ramblings. So I think we lived up to our namesake tonight for sure. This was well needed. This was pretty good. Just shooting the shit, getting geared towards becoming spring,
Yeah,
active
and
season,
all
yada
the
yada.
adventures that holds.
Yeah, man. I mean, I look forward to working on even a little bit of botany. I would like to get into like our natives, maybe do something outside like the yard and plant some natives and yada yada. So I'm
I
definitely
have
going
someone for you to
down.
talk to. I have someone for you to talk to. Like I'll tell you after the show.
Yeah, definitely going down the naturalist rabbit hole, which is not a bad rabbit hole to get down. So um that would be like I guess my finishing words for tonight. Eps, find time to get outside, develop that naturalist oriented mindset if you have it or are discovering that you have, and I guess mental health. I'll toss that out there too. Good mental health.
Yeah. All right, and with that, another episode is in the books. Once again, thanks you folks for joining us on this cold and dreary night, and for our talks of warm weather loving animals. As always, I'm your host Nate. Once again, joined by my eloquent co-host, my Mr. Bryant McDowell.
Yep. Ramblers, we'll catch you on our next episode of Reptile Ramblings. We'll see you.
Until next time.
Deuce.